So basically, we'll be dealing with landscape only today. Okay. So the topic of today's
Okay.
discussion will be indoor and roof landscape. Okay. By indoor landscapes, if you
Okay.
see a internal courtyard of a hotel or any hospitality in a design. So what happens is, first of all, you should understand that first we should select plants. First, we should identify and do planning. Okay, if you have to, for example, if you see this is supposing if this is an internal courtyard of a hotel, you need some place to for people to sit.
Okay.
Okay, so what is more important is what kind of plants you will select, what kind of how you are going to place them, and how those plants are going to help you in enhancing the indoor environment. That is very important. Okay, even the color, the foliage,
Okay.
the rockery, the water element, all these plants also, they sometimes create a focus point, and it creates a soothing picture for the eye, and they create a pleasant environment. For example, in this kind of an atrium space, you know that definitely there is diffused lighting coming from above, from the roof. Okay, so you have to have those, and moreover plants help in purifying the
Yes, ma'am.
environment also. Okay, besides there are so many advantages, like supposing if it is a spa area, you can even have those plants which are proving to be like medicinal plants. Okay, you can have tulsi, and there are certain plants which
Okay.
give particular smells also. Okay, see, indoor landscape
Yes, ma'am.
for institutional areas, for spa areas, it is very important because they actually help you to align your eyes. Okay, and when you walk in a space, it is very important what is the aura that the space is creating for you. Okay, there should be something to look forward to going while going on a pathway. So, indoor plants, they definitely, and there are
Yes,
certain
ma'am.
spaces, sometimes angular spaces are created in plants which you don't know how to manage. So plants help you to fulfill those spaces also. Okay, plants
Okay.
definitely, they help to add color, they help to add textures, they add softness to the whole area. So if you're using stone walls, if you're using brick tiles or some kind of tiles in the flooring, and it'll look very very hard. If you add plants, definitely it gives you a very inviting look, it gives you a very soft look to the whole space. They definitely add life, and people want to spend more time in those areas which are green. Okay, it helps you to relax your body and to rejuvenate yourself. And plants also helps, like they provide
Yes,
herbs
ma'am.
for cooking, medicine, and for fragrance and for aroma, for beauty also. For there are so many flowering plants which have got hundreds and thousands of colors which they offer. Definitely they add the oxygen level. And definitely, if you see the overall perspective, plants also help to create a space which is inviting for the people who work there, who live there, and they would actually feel
Yes,
relaxed
ma'am.
with the company of plants. So advantages are again the same only. They help to
Okay.
improve indoor air quality. They provide herbs. They provide softness, texture, color, life, and oxygen to the whole area. And also, plants, they act as screens. Sometimes private spaces can be created by using plant screens. And moreover, plants help to reduce the noise levels also, because the decibel levels are absorbed by the leaves of the plant. So, but there are certain
Okay.
disadvantages. Definitely, it doesn't give you a very clear look. If you want a clear, transparent look, and if there is a tree is coming in between, and the foliage and the green leaves are falling down like willows and all, you will definitely not like it many times. Okay, so definitely the root system of the plants, it will
Yes,
grow,
ma'am.
and sometimes it happens that it damages the building also. Okay, so and moreover, then you have to add people for
Okay.
maintenance. Okay, then there are certain things like there are the plants will shed their leaves, there are certain maintenance problems, there'll be dust, and plants are also damaged. The life of the plant also reduces when you keep it indoors. Okay, so for heat, for in a air conditioned space, if it is a hotel, if there is an atrium, you have to clean the plants and you have to maintain the hygiene level, and again plants are also damaged also. So plants basically, there are, you have to pick and choose the plants which are by seeing the function of the space. Okay, for a garden also, for a roof garden or for a terrace garden, it is very important that when you put plants, either you have totally potted plants, okay, or the other side is you have to maintain those. Say for example, if you're having a terrace garden on the in on the roof, so you have to have you have to have certain extra waterproofing elements on the terrace. Okay, because sometimes when the roots, if they penetrate the structure of the
Okay.
building, and again you will have so many other problems related to that. So hydro these days, water and plants. See, after all, definitely you will be watering them also, and you will, there'll be so much of seepage also, and the roots also will grow. So maybe you can have plants in particular containers like this. You can see. Okay, supposing if the
Yes,
root,
ma'am.
even if the roots overgrow, you can replace it. The damage to the structure is not there. Okay, so definitely you can see the pot. If you don't like the pot, you can easily cover it with planters and
Yes,
all.
ma'am. Okay.
So this is one method of preserving the structure and making the whole structure green also, but preserving the structure. Okay, you must see one place like Innovate. There is it is a co-working space in CP. Okay, so that you can see as an example. People have added plants
Okay.
and they have added green areas on the existing building. Okay, it is not very easy to do that, but it is definitely what is
Okay.
more important. It is better not to integrate the plant root system with the building. It is better to keep the building separately and then to add-ons, then to put plants as add-ons. Okay, that is
Okay.
more safe. So one is, there are certain plants which have got, first of all,
Okay.
you should know when you design a plant, when you basically suggest a plant to the client, you should know what is the growth pattern of the plant, or you should know what is the limit of growth pattern for the root of the plant. Okay, what is the water requirement, and whether the plant's roots will grow
Okay.
in a broad manner or they will go deep. Okay, and what is the water requirement. So all these things you will need to know when you plan a garden for yourself. You can see here also. Okay, then with the plants you can integrate other
Okay.
features of landscaping like lighting, which is a very very important part in the terrace. For a hotel, if you're planning a terrace garden, you need to maintain a lighting environment in the evening also. Okay, so you can have bollards, you can have lighting fixtures, you can have lamp posts, you can have seating again, whether the seating color, it is a wrought iron seating, a bench you are providing, or you're providing a wooden slat bench. That also depends upon what contrast you want to create between the furniture and between the plants. Okay, so when you talk about, this
Okay.
is the section of a roof. When you talk about a plant, so what happens, see, this is the roofing membrane which you will provide. Then again, definitely you will provide some cloth or some kind of waterproofing. Okay, so then this drainage courses, third number at drainage course is provided, so that whatever water is given to the plants, it ultimately remains at this level only. Okay, then again a filter cloth. Sometimes these days there are plastic packets, some kind of a plastic, you can say, absorbing materials. We basically, the whole system you should understand is these, the roots and the water that you give to the plants, it should not penetrate and it should not reach the structure of the roof, and it should not cause other problems. Okay, so what is more important is
Okay.
you have to keep the, you have to make a barrier like pebbles or a screen in between, so that the water remains at this level only and it doesn't penetrate the structure. Supposing if below you are having a false ceiling, or if you are having a wallpaper on this particular wall, definitely you cannot allow to have a terrace garden and then a
Okay.
wallpaper which has to be changed every 2 months. Okay, especially now these days,
Okay,
for
yeah.
sustainable architecture also, when you are actually removing the ground green cover, what happens is the number of plants have decreased and the overall environment is being polluted. So the extra space, instead of one plan area which you are cutting, the extra space you are getting is all the four wall planes and the terraces and the garden. So this is a new concept which has come up, is the roof garden, and even covering the elevations of the buildings with green plants. This way you can retain the habitat of all the
Yes,
species
ma'am.
staying there. Okay. And it adds to green environment also. Okay. And definitely it adds to the value of the building.
Okay.
So this way it is very important that you should not damage the structure of the building by adding more plants. You should not add more problems to for yourself. Okay. Now again, for this is like you have to multi for a green roof. Green roof means there are so many buildings by Zaha Hadid also. If you see, there are certain buildings, like a building without landscape is like, it is like a very bare shell only. Okay. So to reduce the to give a very good charming look to the building, it is very important that you should add landscape elements so that the contrast with the building comes. And definitely the roofs also of the building, they act as spaces for people to walk, people for people to sit and to use that space. So sometimes even the whole, you must see on Google Zaha Hadid buildings.
Okay.
Okay, Zaha Hadid and all, they have buildings which are, Zaha Hadid
Yes,
has
ma'am.
made so many buildings which are like office corporate buildings, and those buildings have all, they have, most of the buildings have got a green
Yes,
cover.
ma'am.
Okay, they have got green roofs and they have got green covers. And it is very
Yes,
important that,
ma'am.
yeah, that, see, for example, here also the terrace gardens and the building roofs are made green so that people can utilize those spaces, and it gives a good look also. Okay, this is definitely depending
Okay.
upon the temperature and all, you can read through them. Environmental impact, environment is definitely also, you can definitely, if you want to want people to sit in the sun, you can have a roof which is green. In even the Moria Hotel in Delhi, they also, people these days
Okay.
expose the terraces and they make them green. Okay, we'll go to the next PPT. See, the concept of sustainability can easily be used like this. See, for example, first of all, you should know that there are concepts of recycling, reuse, reduce wastage, and all. So, you can use for plants, you can use those containers which are absolutely waste, and you can use them to uh, contain plants. Okay, this can be used. This is one idea. Then again, people
Yes, ma'am.
prefer to have a kitchen garden. Kitchen garden means people have all these plants like coriander, and you can say there are so many herbs which are provided by the plants that can be that can be grown, and people use
Yes, ma'am.
fresh leaves of these plants for cooking and all. And moreover, for a kitchen garden, it is very important that whatever biodegradable waste you generate in the kitchen, that can be used and that can be again put in the plants as a manure. Okay, for dining for
Okay.
in by chance in India it is not that common, but in outside, but outside what happens is people have those kitchen gardens. Why? Because when it is snowing outside for 3 months, for 4 months, people can't grow vegetables in their own garden.
Yes, ma'am.
So what happens is they have a greenhouse kind of a, uh, they generally, houses have a greenhouse kind of a structure, and they grow their plants there only, and they can use all the kitchen garden herbs and all. They can have green leaves and all, particularly in that way. In those times they can use them. So this
Yes,
is
ma'am. Okay.
just one example of windowsill and all. Then there are certain holy landscape, all this year there are certain plants which provide you can say medicines also, and they give you very good aroma in the food also. They add very good aroma in the food also. especially in hotels and especially in spa areas, people use
Okay.
all kind of these plants which add color also, and which give a good, very good look also. So again, when you talk about, suppose, landscaping, this
Okay.
is an
Yeah.
example. This somehow I really like this PPT because of this picture only. See, the stone and the slabs of the stone, they have been used so beautifully to create a pathway. People
Yes,
would
ma'am.
love to change the path every time. There is no fixed, defined path to move from one place to another place.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And moreover, the triangular path, you can see the decreasing and the increasing length of the plinth. That is also very interesting. Okay, this area is kind of a creating a very good play area or a sitting area, and it gives enough privacy to these benches also. Not privacy means the spatial privacy. Okay, so this thing is very nice. So landscaping can help you to
Yes,
create
ma'am.
different types of moods for the user. Okay,
Okay.
1 minute. See, again, there is a difference. This PPT is basically showing the difference between the hard landscape and the soft landscape. When you talk about hard landscape, you can see trees and railings and bamboos and stone bases and all. Okay, and there are certain, basically, it is like the whole area is covered in a fixed manner. And hard landscape also has got an effect. Why? Because supposing when, if it snows, at least the whole area is not damaged. Okay, even if there is snow on the grass and even if there is snow here, but the
Okay.
pathway,
Yeah.
the these, see, this could be actual wood also, and this could be a tile which gives the look of a wood also. Okay, so all these hard landscape elements will still remain the same. So this is one advantage. And moreover, sometimes what happens is, when you want a low maintenance stuff, supposing if there is a cottage in the hills, and if you want to reduce the manpower in, then that way hard landscaping is better, because maintenance level is quite low. Okay, water requirement also reduces, labor also, once you have given the labor, your work is done. Installation, construction process, it will, once that is over, your landscaping is done forever. Okay, like elements like sculptures and pergolas and gazebos, they have to be retained, and there is no need for them to change. So these are some examples. Here, outside in, you can say, in foreign countries, there is a concept of lawns and gardens and parks. Okay, here people, we have all of them,
Yes, ma'am.
but we don't maintain them. Like Lodi Gardens, it is a beautiful place to visit, but people don't maintain them. So what happens is,
Yes, ma'am.
we don't value our own things. So what happens is, now, these are all pictures from outside. What happens is,
Yes, ma'am.
people create spaces like these. These are like framed structures. If the walkways, people go for walks, and these are places where you can actually feel you are a part of nature. Okay, so all the colors, the maintenance, the flowers, see, the people, and personally I personally feel that all these benches, the furniture and all, the pergolas and the sheds created, they help people to rejuvenate themselves, and they can sit for hours, and they can walk in this place, and they can enjoy the shade for hours. Okay, so plants help to develop spaces for people. Even this landscape, this is a pavement, which is pavement is a very important part of landscape design, because this is a hard landscape, and this will always be a good playing area, or this could be a uh, focus, or this could be a place where certain, uh, basically, or even without a central focus point, this acts as a place where which looks beautiful. Okay, the patio or the courtyards, they can be created in such manner. These are again examples of hard landscape materials in which you can use concrete blocks. These days, so many sustainable types of blocks are made, and they can be again used in different patterns to create surfaces. Okay, see, you can see the concrete is laid, and then again through molds they have been separated and infilling of cement concrete can be done. So various ways of laying the flooring creates interest. Okay, this is an again an example of hard and soft, a combination of a hard and a soft flooring. Okay, these aggregates and all, these days if you see there are so many organizations like BMTPS and all, BMTPC and all, they generate blocks which are made up of they mix fly ash with concrete, with cement, and with broken mosaic and all, and then they create blocks out of it. So those blocks can be used easily for flooring patterns also, and it gives a sustainable look. Okay, so and then payments can be again
Yes, yes.
flexible, they can be rigid, monolithic, again rigid monolithic. So there are monolithic means basically everything is very of the same type. So again, formal, informal arrangements, you can read through it. Then there are certain porous pavements and all. You can create different patterns out of the same particular block by arranging them in different ways. Okay, this is the various types of varieties of bondings that you can
Okay.
create. Any shape block you can take, and you can create pavement patterns, or even the jogging tracks, or even the pedestrian walkways can be created with this. Okay, now fence is an important part of the landscape because it creates a barrier. Okay, then the material of the fence is very important, because if it is a kids play park or a kids play zone, you cannot have wrought iron or this kind of a railing. It is always advisable to have a wooden barrier by which the kids also can't cross and which does not hurt them. Okay, so the material is also important. So when you talk about frameworks, again, this is the basic, you can say, the railings and all, the various types of railings. You can have a look later on also. Gates, types of gates, then retaining walls. Sometimes because of level difference, there are certain, because to just take care of the runoffs and all, retaining walls have been used, boulder walls and stones have to be used. Now again, you can see bricks can be used for pathways and for creating pathways and pavements and tracks. Okay, they can be used in various kind of bonding things. You can see stone also, it is used as a landscape element, and definitely what kind of wall elevation you want to create with stones. Now these days, this FRC, reinforced cement fiber, can be used. Okay, fiber concrete. So there are,
Okay.
you can have any kind of design, like, if you remember any particular carving or any particular temple design, there are so many carving and intricate stones, intricate jali patterns and all. So that these days labor can't create. So what happens is FRP, FRC, reinforced plastic concrete, or we reinforce cement concrete. So with those, there are factories which make the mold once, and they can create n number of jali patterns with that, and they can be assembled because they can easily be joined with concrete only. Okay, so this is one part. It can act as a very
Okay.
good wall. It can act as a very good screen for landscape. Okay, screen blocks, these are basically blocks which will provide a
Okay.
barrier also, and they will provide a space, they will define spaces. Now again, water, a waterfall or a cascade or a pond or a pool
Okay.
or a stream, anything they can be used. Then there is still water, spouting water. Even you can see, like, in Singapore, the lion, the water is always coming out. That is their feature of identification. Like we identify India Gate. Okay, like gateway of India is, it be related with Bombay. Okay, so what happens is the Howrah Bridge is related to Calcutta. Because you have to identify certain features with a particular element. Okay, you identify a certain place and you relate two places, you identify a place and an element. So that way, water is also can be used as a landscape element in various forms. These are the various forms: still water. Sometimes, there is a hotel in Singapore, and that is famous for its, you can say, what do you call it? It is like the swimming pool doesn't have a boundary. It is called a infinity pool. Okay, so the infinity pools are there. People identify
Yes,
those
ma'am.
buildings with infinity pools. Means there is no boundary. You will feel as if it is like there is no end. Okay, it is a glass pool kind of a thing. So water, the forms of water, the still water, the spouting water, the free falling water, the flowing water, or the cascading water, that identifies that particular building or a landscape area. So that is also important. Okay, you can see
Okay.
different forms of water. Okay, even the water fountains, like in Dubai also there are the Burj Khalifa is whatever the structure is so beautiful and so good, and there are so many other features along to identify what to, you can say, the plus points of that Burj Khalifa. Besides that, like, the landscaping is so intricate. Even it is a sustainable building because in the desert also, where the water scarcity is there, they have not wasted a single drop of water. The water of the chiller plants of the whole building, that has been used as landscape, and they create a water show in the evening. Okay, that water show has got various fountains, which actually it's called a water show with dancing fountains. You can see the very similar thing in Akshardham in Delhi also. There are so many dancing fountains which help to create an environment where people can sit in the evening for 2 hours, enjoy the place, and they can enjoy the natural fall of the water. Okay, these are the water
Okay.
curtains, the cascades. These are basically, we are discussing about the forms. How can water be used as a different element? Okay, in landscape.
Yes, ma'am.
The still water, you can see a cascade flowing down, a still water. The rosette in Gurgaon, this is very famous for that because it has got a lotus pond which has got a seamless effect. There is a cascade also, and there is no boundary. So what
Yes,
happens
ma'am.
is this kind of water which always gives you a positive feeling. Again, hanging gardens of Babylon and all,
Okay.
water has been used. Water is a natural element, and that has been used in earlier times also. Okay. Then what Japanese bridges, they are very
Yeah.
famous because it is a very important part of the landscape because it helps you to connect with two places at different levels. And it is a bridge which is a defined pathway. Okay. We'll have to go
Okay.
fast. We'll have to go fast to the visuals. You can see various types of bridges.
Okay.
Japanese bridge and water. They have a so strong connection with landscape that
Yes,
you
ma'am.
identify both of them together. Okay, then there are various types of bridges. You can see. Then the seatings. You can see informal seatings. Seating is again a part of landscape elements. You are designing spaces for people, the urban spaces that you are designing. They are basically for people to sit and enjoy the whole space. Okay, the urban places you create and
Okay.
the plazas and the patios you create, they are basically landscape elements. You can see the different types of colors that have been used, the various forms and the various heights have been created. So people can use different heights. Children can just jump off from one places to the other places. People can sit, have lunch. People can have use it as a and this, for example, this can be used as a laptop arrangement also, or a bench also. So basically all these are landscape elements. And seats, the sitting furniture, nothing will happen in cold, nothing will happen, it will sustain all the weather types. Okay, you can see it various forms. Again,
Okay.
spiral, circular, then stone has been used. You can see how urban areas have been designed. People have designed, people can actually just have a relaxing seat while they are going. Or it is a place where it's an urban space design where people just
Okay.
come, sit, relax, spend 3 4 hours, talk, chit chat, and go back. Okay, so again, you should understand that furnitures and benches, they are a part of landscape. The color has to be taken care of. The material, they have to be according to the climate. You can see a few examples like this. You can see lighting, subdued lighting, which is focusing on the tree, that is important. Okay, now pergolas, as per the
Okay.
climate, they add interest to the place, they define a place, and they help you to. They basically, if a pergola is there and if it is covered with planters, or if it even if it is not covered, it will give us, basically it will give a, you can say a space recognition. Okay, you actually when you're walking, you know that this
Okay.
is to sit. So this, it can be covered with planters, and it gives you a fresh look, and it identifies the people identify it as a outdoor sitting space. Okay, then you can see all these various styles of pergolas.
Okay.
Okay, you can see all these sculptures, a wall. This will and this if this piece was not there, this would have been an open pathway. But now this is enclosing the space. Okay, now the gazebos are there. They are definitely good for
Okay.
public parks and all. If it rains instantly, or if the climate also changes instantly, people at least have some place to. There are old citizens also. Sometimes they can't walk so fastly. So what happens is gazebos, they play a very important part in outdoor parks where people can sit for hours and relax. And obviously, it'll they can sit and talk rather than walking. Okay. So these are examples of gazebos where you can sit, enjoy the nature, landscape, enjoy the birds, the sounds of water, the sounds of birds. Then there are certain insects also. So arch is a very popular way. Okay. It's like stone arches and all. People used to use it in earlier
Yes, ma'am.
times also to create interest. These are structures where people basically, sometimes what happens is when you want to separate spaces, this can be used for climbing plants. This is basically a structural element which helps you to define a space, or a it helps a creeper to climb basically. They have been very commonly used in this Nehru Place Mall also. Okay, tunnels are created.
Okay. Yeah.
You can see tunnels are created because they give you shaded walkways for tough weathers. If there are certain two connecting, if you see buildings which are two buildings which are connected, but there is a open pathway, there is no structural coverage. So in harsh weather, at least people can walk easily. Okay, for animals also, they should not you cannot keep an animal in a room. So this gives you a very good effect, because outside what happens is people have zoos. People go and visit zoos. Here there are the system is different. But what happens is when you go and watch, when you want to watch animals, and also should have some private space, which they call it, where the nature is also being a should be a part of it. And definitely it gives shade and warmth to the animal. Then lighting, which is most important part.
Okay.
You can see the whole pathway, the the shape of the pathway and the bollards of the lights. They are actually take The light will take you through the walkway, because safety also it is very important. Then there are outdoor lights, indoor lights. Lights define what kind of lighting is there, that will define the mood, and that will give you an effect. Okay, the whole drama of lights is very
Okay.
important. Like staircase, you can see, you can easily identify, and it gives you lighting also, and the silhouettes created and everything. Lighting creates a very different mood in the evening hours. Okay, now there are certain sculptures, they can be used as focuses in the landscape areas. Okay, urns and all, they were used in earlier times also. So that is what now these days, that is what I'm telling you, that right now it is the age to use, reuse, and reduce wastage, and reuse old containers for landscaping. Okay, people used to have copper urns in Mohenjo-daro times also. Okay, but now people can use these
Okay.
elements, people can use tires, and they can create landscape within a contained space. Okay, So this I will share it with you.
Okay.
Okay. Now what is, I think the lecture
Okay.
part is over for today. Sir will take a class at 12, or you can ask what is exact time, what he wants to take the class.
Okay.
And then please
Okay. Okay.
discuss
Yeah.
whatever, please
Okay.
try to use them in your design. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
So maybe you can take a break of a few minutes and then you can ask, and maybe you can start at 12.
Okay.
Fine. Any
So,
doubts?
ma'am, actually, sir have given me some work to do.
Okay.
I'll finish it and then sir will take class.
No, not
That
a
is.
problem. Not a problem. Fine. So any doubts
Okay.
regarding this today?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts?
No, ma'am. This is normal.
This
No,
is
ma'am.
okay.
Ma'am.
Since you're an architect, you'll understand it better. That I understand. Fine. I'll
Yes,
share with
ma'am.
you these once again. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.